the police, where you will see in the next clip that the police suddenly formed a line. I don't know why they decided to form a line to start blocking people from attending. People then rushed in confusion to what has happened, and you can see here police pushing everyone back with batons.
So we're watching the police are keeping people from going to the cenotaph, right?
Yes.
And it's because this is one of those situations where they think they're going to cause trouble if they get there because there's people already there, or...
Well, no, that's the weird thing about it is they created an exclusion zone around the memorial where the exclusion zone was basically just barriers to stop people going all the way to the monument. But you could stand there. You were lawfully allowed to stand around this monument to pay your 2-minute silent respect. And there were plenty of people there. There were so many people there. And because the march was led all the way through this tiny little alley, I'm still yet to figure out why the police decided to form these two lines. So that's why I sent these freedom of information requests, because it didn't make sense. I don't actually understand why they decided to do that, and I'm hoping to get some answers. It's going to take less than 20 days now, and the narrative has completely moved on. You know, the media have already taken my clips and called people far-right hooligans and, yobs and all of this stuff. And
Wait, yobs?
Yobs. Yobs. Kind of like rowdy young men. Yobs.
Okay.
Sorry. I forget you're Canadian. I forget you're a maple.
Oh, yeah, because everybody else in the world's going to know what a yob is.
Yeah, no, thank you for clarifying. Yes. Why have the police blocked everyone from getting to the cenotaph? I don't know. I don't understand
it. So was there no other way around at all?
Nope. Not at all. The reason why... So Tommy was at the front, and he was already standing at the cenotaph because there were so many people who decided to come down. And what you're seeing there, or what you're seeing right now, I think my cameraman of the day, Ash, who was right in the midst of things, I was right at the back. What you're seeing here is, yes, the lines being formed to prevent people from going in. And this is when they decided, right, just start shuffling, and now is what you'll see.
Yeah, it's never gonna... You're basically using the people as a front to push your way through, and that's never going to go well for the people at the front, I feel like.
Yeah, so they broke the line of police, and that's when I captured it. So I was right at the back, and I captured that snippet right there that you just saw, and it was basically people just pushing through this line. Female police there. I don't know what they're doing there, but
all right, lads, carry on.
Carry on. Yeah, and what you're seeing here is people just barging through, saying there's enough of us. And you'll see here, look, so people are going round because there's a barrier, or say barrier. You can just walk round. They only form the line in this little section, so people could just have walked around, as you can see to the right.
Mm-hmm.
So it was completely pointless. Look, people just jumping over and just walking around them. It was pointless. I don't know why they decided to do this. And I decided to submit this and say, I've got some questions. Who gave the order to do this? This wasn't just an impromptu, right, let's form a line. Someone gave that order. So I'm lucky I caught this on camera, and that I had a cameraman right at the front getting all of this, because from my angle, it looked like people were just having a piss up and a disorder, where it actually shows a bit more nuance now that the police actually were goading and instigating the scuffles by stopping people from paying their respects, which I think is
the
wrong.
Mainstream media was positioning it as these people just barged through police then without any rhyme or reason.
They positioned it as far right hooligans disrupt the 2 minute silence and disrupt
Ah,
the honors. By the way, I have video proof straight after, and it's on my Twitter account, which you can find, of straight after this event where everyone managed to get in, everyone found a place. Look, see, now it's calm, them just leading them in, but I don't know why they decided to form the lines. But you'll see after this is everyone stood around in complete silence. Everything was calm. Everyone paid their respects and then went. Yes, there were isolated incidences straight after of people causing trouble, but the media immediately took this section of the day and framed it as like a, this is dishonorable. You were worried about the pro-Palestinian lot that were going to cause trouble, and they were nowhere even near the cenotaph. Yet you far-right hooligans, quote unquote, were there to disrupt everything, and it was just totally unfair. So I, as a journalist, felt that it was my duty to get this out. See, look, they try and form a line again, that fails, and yet did you see that just then with that police officer goading that
was that a
that guy?
shove?
He sort of like, you lean in, go on, mate, you want some of that? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, look, he does that. If you take a look at the guy on the right in the police uniform, yeah, that's it. This guy, see that? You see that?
You like, yeah, you like checks them basically.
Checks them, yeah, and that pisses everyone off, rightfully so. Um,
That's
it's
what I would
just,
call unbecoming of a police officer.
it's so bad. It's so bad. And that guy was obviously being pulled by his other officers
Hmm.
to bring to the back. But then after this, it was completely calm and there was no trouble. There was completely no trouble. It was only that initial shuffle that we saw, like you would see in a concert.
Yeah,
You'd
the
see
front of
that
the.
sort of thing at a gig or whatever. It wasn't anything bad. I think some people threw some drink, but that was about it. Look, and then after that, all calm. They're just all standing around, and I think this guy confronts him and said, "You didn't need to charge us, mate." And he goes, "Well, I didn't," and that was it.
I think at this point, and this is from an outsider's perspective, obviously, a lot of the policing tactics in England appear to be in conjunction with how they want portrayed in the media. If they want to portray it as a violent event where far right people are showing up, they're going to send a lot of police and they're going to say, look at all the police that have to handle all these people. And then they gather them into a small group and try to antagonize them a little bit. That's what I've seen in the last 5, 6, 7 years a lot. And of course, we certainly saw that during COVID times. Do people still get the same feeling when they hear far right in England? I feel like it's really died off in North America when people try to say far right something. There's very few people who are just believing that because there's been such an uprise of people saying far left things. So it's kind of lost its mojo, if you will. Does it still have the same effect in England, do you think?
It depends who you talk to. I think a lot of the time it's only the metropolitan liberals that use that term far right. If someone uses that term, two things go in my mind. One makes me think, oh, I should actually check this person out. I've never heard of this person before. If they're claiming someone's far right, I want to see what they've done. Um, and the other thing is, what does far right actually mean? I'd like to know the pure definition of what far right means, because whenever someone uses the term far right, immediately in my head um, I'm thinking the Azov Battalion. I'm thinking David Duke from America. That's what I think when I think far right. So the problem is with this term far right is I don't even know what it even means. I don't know where someone sits politically if that means far right. Is it you endorse one particular idea? Is it you endorse many? Who gets brandished far right, and why does it stick so well? Why has it stuck so well? But in regards to your question on whether it's died down or not, it has. It has with many people now, because if you just, it's a bit like the term racist or white supremacist. If you keep using these buzzwords over and over and over again, it dilutes the meaning. We're seeing it now as well with the term anti-Semitic. that's dying down as well. And the problem is you lose potency when you keep using these buzzwords over and over and over and over again. And now it encourages people to say, "Oh, maybe, like I said, should just check this person out and see what they've actually done wrong, or right." Really, is what we're seeing.
Yeah, when I'd like to ask these people what exactly views make somebody far right, because at this point it's you want a reasonable amount of immigration without illegal immigration being allowed, which is
Mm,
technically still legal. You want freedom of speech. You
yeah,
don't want to be overtaxed. It's a lot of these things that I think normal people want, that believe these things, and these are the people that are labeled as far right. So I don't know, not wanting, child mutilation, that sort of thing. These are the
hmm
things that are far right now, which, as we've heard ad nauseum 7 years ago or something like that, pre-Trump, were just normal things. But I found the video of you that you posted on X,
mm.
and I'm guessing we're going to get some English chants here.
We will, yes.
I think what they don't like, Lewis, if I'm being completely honest, I think what they don't like is a bunch of native English people coming together and having so much emotion or so much, camaraderie that they're willing to break out in chants. It's only allowed in sport. If you start doing that in a
Mm,
political manner, then they want that to be deemed as fearful. They want people to be afraid of that. Why? Because I think because when you have people that are have enough charisma, enough gumption about them to chant in the streets for something, that signals they're against the political establishment, and the political establishment doesn't want that. So I think to
yeah,
portray anything that's a form of protest beyond walking with a sign silently and doing exactly what the police do until they give you the move on orders, I think they really want to stop that from happening, because all when we go from chanting, we go from, you know convincing other people that this isn't a hateful group of people when you're chanting things to me that sound, like the England I grew up liking. You know what I mean?
Turn it up, Jordan.